Welcome back and welcome to our weekly edition of all things women in sports. The 2026 tennis season has officially kicked off and the first Grand Slam of the year is currently underway. We are through round one of the Australian Open so far. Madison Keys, a Rock Island native, is your defending champion. And so far, there haven't been many upsets, but one of the biggest names to fall so far has been world number 15 right here, American Emma Navarro, who lost in round one on Sunday. Another loss is Venus Williams. The 45-year-old was in on a wild card entry, and her first round loss was a big disappointment for fans who were looking forward to a potential matchup with world number 3, American Coco Gauff. But Coco herself is through and will be playing in her second round tonight around 8 o'clock Central Time. She cruised through her first round despite familiar serving troubles for the 21-year-old. Gauff has won 2 Grand Slam titles, but she's never made it past the semis at the Australian Open. Also playing tonight is world number 1, Aryna Sabalenka. She's trying to become the first woman in more than 20 years to make it to 4 straight Australian Open finals. Sabalenka won the entire event in 2023 and 24 before becoming runner-up last year. She'll play her second round tonight at 6:30. And your final top 10 player to hit the court tonight is Italy's Jasmine Paolini. She's got one of the later second-round matchups premiering later tonight around 10:30 p.m. Central Time. And a quick check on your defending champion, Madison Keys. Her first round was yesterday, and Keys did struggle early on. It took a bit for her to recover, but she did rally for a come-from-behind win. This is Keys' 50th Grand Slam tournament, and she said she was admittedly nervous for it to begin, but now she's through to the second round, where she'll face fellow American Ashlyn Kruger tomorrow. All right, turning to basketball, big news for the Iowa Hawkeyes. For the first time since Caitlin Clark was on the team, the Hawks are back in the AP Top 10. It comes after Sunday's 75-68 win over number 13 Michigan State. The Hawks are now 16-2 on the season, but they have a tough gauntlet over the next 2 weeks with games against Maryland, Ohio State, USC, and UCLA in the next 2 weeks. 3 of those 4, by the way, being on the road. But it's the opposite story for the Iowa State women, who fell completely out of the AP Top 25. The Cyclones had been ranked at 19th, but this comes after a pair of hard road losses against Colorado and Oklahoma State, plus injuries to guard Ariana Jackson and forward Addie Brown. In hockey, the PWHL is continuing to break records. This weekend, more than 17,000 fans packed Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. to watch the New York Sirens defeat the Montreal Victoire. That is a new U.S. women's hockey attendance record. The previous record was 16,000 fans, and that was set back in November in Seattle. Now, D.C. does not have a team. Instead, this was part of the PWHL's takeover tour, where they play games at cities without a franchise. So let's take a quick look at the standings. You got Boston, New York, and Minnesota still at the top of the leaderboard. And if you're looking to watch a game, a doubleheader is happening tonight. Ottawa will travel to New York at 6 p.m. Central Time, followed by Toronto in Seattle for the late game beginning at 9 o'clock. Both games are available on Amazon Prime. And closer to home, we have one local lady nominated for this week's Midwest Technical Institute Score Standout. So grab your phones and scan this QR code. Peyton Peterson from Pleasant Valley is nominated this week. She had 21 points and 9 rebounds in a win over North Scott. You can scan this code to vote, or you can go to WQAD.com. Polls are open until tomorrow at noon, and each week's winner is featured on Off the Cuff. And finally tonight, meet 10-year-old Avie Collins. She's from Des Moines, and her figure skating is putting Iowa on the map. Back in November, Avie passed the U.S. figure skating gold skills test, making her the youngest person in Iowa to be a gold skills medalist. This all comes after she became the first person in Iowa to qualify for the Excel National Final last year. Most days, you can find her on the ice practicing her favorite spin.
I like Bowman spin because it used to be my signature spin, and I think it still will be after I get a little bit of it.
Avie is now hoping to qualify for another Excel National Final and pass 3 more tests for gold singles, another discipline in U.S. figure skating. And that'll do it for this week's edition of Women in Sports.